This week in the news, a 22-year-old Arverne man was arrested after he allegedly stabbed two men and struck 6 people with his car during a parking dispute on December 3rd in Ozone Park. Adrian Harry has been charged with second-degree murder, assault, attempted assault, reckless endangerment, and criminal possession of a weapon. Queens District Attorney Richard Brown said Harry was parking on Liberty Avenue near 127th Street when he allegedly tapped his bumper against the BMW parked behind him. BMW's occupants confronted Harry and Ricardo Chattergoon, who was riding in Harry's car, and during an ensuing altercation, Harry allegedly pulled out a knife and stabbed both of the men. Harry then allegedly drove his vehicle onto the sidewalk and into a crowd of people, striking 6 individuals. Chattergoon was pronounced dead at the scene, and according to the city's medical examiner, his injuries appeared consistent with being struck and dragged by a motor vehicle. In other news, a Woodhaven family who fled to the United States from Colombia in 2002 now faces deportation, but family members have not been given a reason. The family's patriarch, Juan Velasquez, could be deported to Ecuador this week, while his wife, Liani Guerrero, who is undergoing breast cancer treatment, has been forced by Immigration and Customs Enforcement to prove that she has purchased a one-way ticket to Colombia before January 15th. And the couple's 2 daughters, who are DACA recipients, said that the family is trying to cope with an extremely difficult situation. Quote, "My dad would usually be home before me," said Liani, one of Velasquez's daughters. Quote, "When I come home now, the house is dark." And the Queens Tribune held its annual Healthcare Heroes Award on December 5th at Douglaston Manor. This year's honorees include Dr. David Wright, President and Chief Operating Officer of Mount Sinai Hospital and Mount Sinai Queens, Dr. Victor Politi, President and CEO of the New Health System, and Melissa Powell, Chief Operating Officer of the Allure Group. The evening's guest speaker was Christopher Roker, the CEO of New York City Health and Hospitals Queens. Quote, "It's no longer the doctors that are most important," Roker said during his speech. "The patient is the most important person, and workers are the second most important." And those are the top stories this week in Queens. This week's Queens Tribune News video is sponsored by Mount Sinai Hospital and Mount Sinai Queens.